So I'll just go over the 8 standards and kind of show where I'm at. So standard 1, visionary leadership. And a lot of this is some from last year, some from new this year. I continue to work with the facility committee. We will meet one more time in the spring when we find out about the seismic, so that we can put a 5-year plan together. And I think so if we will know for sure if we get the seismic latter part of April, first part of May. Then that work wouldn't be done till the summer of 26, of course. And so then we could put together a good facility, a 5-year plan, knowing that that's part of it, which would include the roof, et cetera. So that, then we can decide, knowing that we wouldn't have to put $1 million roof on this one. So that'll help to be able to move into developing a 5-year plan. And that is that's my plan before I leave. So that when I leave, that they'll have something, knowing what's going to happen over the course of the next 4 or 5 years for us, developing, fixing, repairing, that kind of thing. We continue to have leadership meetings and discussing what's going on in the district, et cetera. I work closely with the board, but yes, I do. And I hope that, that you know that you can call anytime. And that I will answer whatever question I can answer if needed. And then, one of the biggest priorities for me this year, and it's done and it's working, is opening Maple Hills. And the idea of that, of the visionary leadership, was basically to improve a place for 6th grade. I mean, it was all about that. It was all about having them have a place that they feel comfortable, they can call on. So that is standard 1. Standard 2, all decisions that we make or that I make district wide are appropriate and legal, because this is ethical and professional norms. I do work and use PACE when we need to. So if we have to write a letter of reprimand or a letter of whatever, because things are changing so quickly, that we do touch base with PACE before we make some kind of a decision that could impact legal, which would be disciplinary, whether it be individual or other. And then I try to model principles, reflect the practice, transparency, ethical behavior, and I think transparency is the biggest thing. I want people out there to know what we're doing, and making sure and ensuring that we're doing that and not hiding. And I hope we think that we are. Standard 3, which is inclusive district culture. Try to ensure that 100% of the students and staff are included in instructional and behavioral practices. We do that. And we make sure that our SPED population, our targeted kids, our 504 kids, et cetera, we work through them, ensure that they have the best instruction they can. And then, of course, lead district and negotiate with those classified license. And this year we do not have to do class license. We're just doing classified. So
I have a little sheet in front of you, like it's off to your side.
that's a nice thing. Yeah, there is a sheet that I get. 4, which is culturally responsive instructional leadership and improvement. I'm working with the building principals, the IT director, the maintenance transportation director, that we're all using correct systems, et cetera, so that we are actually working with all 100% of students and not leaving anybody left behind, or attempting to make sure that we don't do that. And then staff is trained on inclusive practices. And again, inclusive practices may change. You never know. We will change when we're told to change. Standard 5. You probably haven't seen a couple letters that I sent, like 3 in December, and Leon didn't quite get to them. So I'm kind of working with Leon to make sure that he actually gets that they get published and put in. Working with community members and other shareholders to improve relationships with the community. And then the facility committee consists of several committee members. And we're, by the year 25, 26, which is coming, we have to have an equity committee. And I'm sitting on that one because I'm waiting for, the ESD is supposed to come up with a situation where they have an equity committee for the entire regional area. So that's kind of what we're waiting for. And I'm also waiting to find out, what consists of the equity committee. And again, that could change quickly. And then, of course, open line of communication with school board and district staff. 6, which is effective board. So we're very closely with Carrie on all the hiring process and all the other things that go on inside the district. I'm still meeting with union leadership to settle any situation that may arise. And fortunately, it's been pretty quiet in this room. And that changes. I think that's changed kind of because of the probably union leadership. And that's something that's and then 7, which is effective financial management. I do work with Lacey on administration and budget preparation, which she's about getting started to prepare the 25-26 budget, of course. I also developed the budget message, prioritize all purchased items, ensure that we're putting students first for purchasing. And then I assisted ZCS in completing the seismic grant. And of course, they wrote the grant, which was great. But you know, they were here numerous times. We looked over various things, ensuring that we would get this seismic. And you know, they're pretty sure that we will. So I'm confident that they'll get good news and get more. And then the last but not least is policy and governance. We do change all of our policies according to OSBA, definitely required. And then there's been tons of them. And then of course, highly recommended. If it's highly recommended, we will change the policy, ensuring that we are with the times. Civil rights, I am the civil rights coordinator for the district. And then I call OSBA or legal counsel. Try not to call legal counsel if we have to, but if OSBA doesn't have the answer, I call. And our legal is in Salem, and she does, and she's great. And they get back to us ASAP. So that's that. It's worked out. We charge a fee, unlike OSBA. So I try not to use. If OSBA can answer the question, we use it. If not, then I will go with it to legal if I have to. So that's kind of that was the targets of those. And then if there's any questions or you're related to any of those, to what we're doing to the evaluation process. I think one, and Carrie's looking, this one's cumbersome. And I think there's easier ways to do it. If we can find the process that other people are using, that I think would enable us to go through a process that's not, like I said, I think it's cumbersome. But that's OSBA, and they want everything done kind of the same way in every district in the state, and that's changing. There are some different evaluations out there, and we're actually looking in that process. But this is what we have in 2014. Questions? Comments? Did a great job. And on the financial part of it, we do have, and this district is financed by kids going to school here. And we are, that's one of those things that, like I said, we look at that daily. So, don't come in and going. Every time somebody comes and goes, it's $10,000 or a little bit more. And I mean, you hate to think of a kid as $10,000, but that's what it is for us. So we do watch that closely. The last month it's been very static. So we're good. So that's all I have.
You're right.
Katie?
Any questions, Katie?
Yes, that's part of the board meeting. Absolutely.
cafeteria.
Yes,
And we could.
yes. So that is to the board meeting, and that reminds me, I gotta go get the piece of,
And I need to grab my quotes. I need to. I sent to you guys, but I need to print them off so you have
Okay.
it.
nothing else we can.
Something else for me, guys.
I guess the only question I have for you guys are you guys wanting to do your pieces like you've done in the past where you score him individually and then you send me the scores? Are you guys just wanting to meet next month and do it out in the open? How are you guys wanting to do that? And we did not do staff surveys. Last year, we only got 30 people to actually do a survey and it was a waste of everybody's time. So I don't know how, what you guys want me to do this month is that's where you're, the avenue you wanting me to go down? Or what do you guys want to do?
Keep it here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Steve, do you want an executive session?
No.
So just so you guys know, I will not be setting up an executive session, then that's we change our minds halfway through.
No.
Okay.
I do not.
I will try to figure out.
And as Steve said, I did find one and I thought I brought it with me because I wanted to show you guys. But I found a draft that another district has started that's a little less cumbersome. And it actually just really addresses what a superintendent does, not so many of these big drawn out pieces. And so I will send that out to you all though to review so that when we get ready to start come next year, maybe we can, do this a little, less and not so many check-ins, like.
Right.
Yeah, the check-ins should be what you're doing every month at the board meeting when
Right.
he's giving their report,
Yeah, we have. This should be a summary.
right? Correct. And that's what that one, I thought I brought it. But I'll share it with you all later. I'll email it to you guys.
Okay. Work session. Are we good, Katie?
I'm sure you did great. Can we go home now?
Threw me on the spot. Geez.